Your body can feel fine, but your mind is dragging. Overthinking is like running a race with no finish line. Every day, you wake up feeling more tired than when you fell asleep. The rest doesn't register because even in sleep, your mind is chewing on loops, dissecting past conversations, analyzing future ones, inventing problems to solve. It's not rest. It's just downtime for your body while your mind continues sprinting. You question everything. Not just big things, the small things, the tiny things, the throwaway comments, the way someone looked at you, a pause in a text. Your brain turns everyday moments into puzzles, and puzzles into problems. It replays things you said 5 days ago like you're on trial. You defend yourself in fake arguments. You pre-write your reactions to things that haven't even happened. You imagine rejection, embarrassment, and failure before you've even stepped into the room. Your energy doesn't come from sleep anymore. It comes from distraction. You play music constantly, not because you're relaxed, but because silence is too loud. You scroll endlessly, through videos, through images, through people's lives, because it's easier to drown in noise than sit with your own. You talk to people, not because you're always in the mood, but because conversation pulls you out of your internal traffic. You eat not out of hunger, but because chewing is grounding. You're not living, you're managing. Managing the noise, the spirals, the endless rehearsals in your head. And when there's finally silence again, it returns stronger, louder, sharper. It's like the mind was waiting in the shadows, and the moment the world goes quiet, it surges forward again. Even in the calmest settings, it feels like a storm inside. Your face may be still, but inside, it's chaos. You smile out of habit. You know how to behave. You know what normal looks like. So you copy it. You match the energy. You laugh, make eye contact, say the right things. But all the while, your brain is working overtime. Did they just shift away from you? Did you talk too much? Did your voice shake? Was that eye roll meant for you? Are they annoyed? Are they bored? Do they even like you? Do you belong here? Overthinking is invisible, but it's loud and lonely because no one sees it. People look at you and see someone thoughtful, maybe quiet, maybe a little distant, but no one sees the battle happening inside. They don't know that while you're sitting silently, you're arguing with your own thoughts, that you're reworking conversations you haven't had yet, that you're exhausted from being in your own mind all day. Even when you're doing nothing, you're doing everything internally. And that's what makes it so hard to explain. How do you describe a mind that doesn't turn off? How do you tell someone that the reason you're tired isn't physical, but mental? That you've used all your energy trying to be okay, trying to appear normal, trying not to unravel in front of them? That's the secret part of overthinking, the cost it takes in silence. You're tired, but no one knows why. Because there's no cast, no scar, no wound. Just a mind that never stops and a person who looks fine on the outside, but is constantly fighting for peace inside. You reread texts, not just once or twice, but over and over, trying to decode the silence between the lines. A period feels cold. An emoji feels confusing. Was that a joke? Were they annoyed? Were they in a rush? You read it again, hoping for clarity that never quite comes. Then you draft your response, delete it, rewrite it, sit with it, overanalyze it. You wonder if replying too fast makes you seem eager. Too slow, distant. You send it, then immediately regret sending it. Then you open the chat again to reread what you already know by heart. You rehearse conversations, before they happen and long after they're done. You imagine what you'll say, how you'll say it, what they might respond. You act out both roles in your head, adjusting your tone, your words, your pace. Later, after it's over, you go back through it like a director editing a scene, tightening lines, changing expressions, swapping reactions. It's not just reflection. It's rewriting the past. Hoping that maybe if you had said it differently, looked less unsure, paused at the right moment, they would have seen you the way you wanted them to. You remember things people forget. A word that landed too heavy. A glance that didn't linger. A silence that came too soon. You hold on to it. It stays in your system like a memory on loop. You don't want to care this much, But your brain doesn't give you the choice. It stores these small moments like evidence, filing them away under categories like things I said wrong or proof they don't like me. And even when you try to let go, your mind quietly pulls them back. Overthinking isn't a funny trait or a small personality flaw. It's not just being cautious or overly thoughtful. It's a reflex now, a learned response from too many moments where you felt unsure, unseen, or misunderstood. It becomes a habit, but it doesn't look like a habit. It doesn't look like chewing your nails or bouncing your leg. It looks like stillness, like silence, like zoning out in the middle of a conversation because you're already 30 steps ahead in your mind, mapping out how this will all go wrong. It looks like paying attention, maybe too much attention. You notice how someone's voice changed, how they sighed, how they typed okay instead of okay. You're not trying to obsess. You just want to feel safe. Predict what's coming. Make sure you're not missing anything. Overthinking becomes your way of staying prepared, of trying to control something, anything, in a world that often feels unpredictable. But it's not control. It's fear. Fear wrapped in logic. Fear disguised as preparation. Fear of messing up, of misunderstanding, of being misunderstood. You want to be just enough. Not too quiet. Not too much. Not too cold. Not too eager. You constantly calculate your steps, not because you're manipulative, but because you're scared of stepping wrong. You think too much, and then you think about why you think too much. You wonder if it's annoying, if it's exhausting to be around, if people notice. You worry about being a burden, even in your silence. Even in your own mind, you're trying to earn your place, prove your worth, explain yourself before anyone asks. And the truth is, most of this happens quietly. No one sees it. They see the pause before you speak, not the 1,000 thoughts that filled it. They see the smile, not the second-guessing behind it. It's invisible, this habit, this loop, this exhausting script you've memorized without trying. And no matter how aware you are of it, it doesn't stop. You just get better at hiding it. You call it normal because it's been your reality for so long. This constant hum in the background of your mind, this steady current of thought that never slows down, it feels like the default setting. You assume everyone else is just as tangled up in their inner world. That everyone else lies awake dissecting conversations, replaying scenarios, preparing for disasters that might never come. But deep down, something in you knows that's not true. You've seen people move on, laugh easily, shrug things off. You've seen them sleep without rituals, forget without guilt, live without the weight. And you've wondered how. How do they do it? How do they carry so little? Sometimes you envy them. The ones who don't double-check themselves. The ones who speak without over-editing. The ones who leave a moment behind as soon as it passes. You don't wish to be careless, but you long for that lightness, the ease, the freedom, the simplicity. You imagine what it must feel like to trust the moment, to not always be bracing for impact, to not need to analyze, over-prepare, make sense of every silence and glance and pause. But maybe this thing you do, this constant reflection, this searching, this overthinking, maybe it isn't entirely a curse. Maybe it comes from care, from empathy, from the way you feel the world so deeply that your brain tries to catch up to your heart. You don't just listen, you hear. You don't just observe, you absorb. You pick up energy in rooms, tension in voices, shifts in mood. You notice what others miss. And that's not nothing. That's not weakness. That's awareness. Still, awareness doesn't mean you don't get to rest. It doesn't mean you have to carry every feeling, every moment, every question. You deserve peace, even if your mind is loud. You deserve silence that soothes you instead of scaring you. You deserve to breathe without always having to explain what's wrong. To be tired without needing a reason. To pause, even when the world keeps spinning. And maybe peace doesn't always come from solving every thought. Maybe it comes from letting some of them go. Not because they're unimportant, but because they don't all need answers. Maybe tonight, when the thoughts return, and you know they will, don't try to push them away. Don't wrestle with them. Just notice them. Watch them rise and fall. Let them float by like clouds across a sky you don't have to clear. Let them exist without making them your responsibility. You are not your thoughts. You are the space they pass through. You are the stillness beneath the storm, the quiet beyond the noise. And even when your mind is busy, your soul can rest. So maybe now, just for a little while, you don't need to fix anything. You don't need to prepare or perform. You don't need to win an imaginary battle in your head.
You can just be.
Just sit with yourself.
Breathe in.
Let it all soften. Let it all slow down. There is nothing wrong with you. You are thoughtful. You are aware. You are human. But you don't need to earn peace. You don't need to overthink your way into being okay. Maybe it's time to pause and just breathe.